So thank you for joining us. Appreciate everyone for being here. So we're jumping into Claim the Stars, episode 3. So excited to be here. Just a reminder before we start off, if you're watching later on YouTube, hit subscribe, click that thumbs up button. Thank you for being here. And But we're going to jump right in and have the players introduce their characters before we get started. Jeremy, why don't you start us off, and then while I'm sending out some stuff on the socials, we'll just go down the list and down to Cliff and Matt and all the way around. So, Jeremy, tell us who you're playing.
So I'm playing Levi Roosevelt, pseudo cowboy, elderly pseudo cowboy, who is apparently the reluctant captain since we lost our initial captain, and somebody else is calling me captain now. And uh, just he's a ex security officer, soldier type from a kind of a high tech place, but decided to get out of there a long time ago and work for Astra Unum with all of these other people.
Very cool, very cool. Cliff, why don't you tell us who you're playing, buddy?
Yeah, so I am playing Sir Ashton Charles Hatcher Courtney, heir to the Brax Courtney fortune, and he has proven to be a smooth talker with an edge. I've probably in the one session that I've done managed to piss off an entire smuggler function, and yeah, to say that I've made friends last time would be probably stretching the words a little bit. But yeah, he's a smooth talker, and he's got kind of a temper on him.
Very cool, very cool. Also, tell everybody where we can also find you at.
Yeah, so I also stream tabletop games. I do a D&D homebrew world called Quests and Cliffhangers at twitch.tv/quests and cliffhangers. And it's a fully interactive D&D stream where the viewer can interact and change the course of the events that are happening. So that's every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Very cool, very cool. Also, a reminder
Thank
too:
you.
once the players in this game realize that you actually helped Dr. Jack Breach, maybe even though you kind of hurt them in a way, maybe with the smuggler thing. Well, maybe we'll see if it hurt them.
We'll
But maybe
see.
once they realize that you actually helped Jack Breach, maybe they'll come around to you. Who knows?
I think Levi's warming up to me.
Sure, whatever you think. All right, Matt, why don't you tell us who you're playing?
I am playing Arthur Haeckel. He is a young scientist, and he is, I believe he left the same space station as Levi did, Palisadia, and he left under somewhat desperate circumstances. We'll see if that comes back to bite him eventually.
It'll definitely come into the story. That's for sure. I don't know if it'll bite you, but it'll definitely come back into the story. So very cool, very cool. And that planet, and space stations was Palisadia. So Jason, tell everybody what you're playing.
Playing Jack Breach, the grizzled doctor. He's been around the block a couple times. I don't think he's aware of the hindrance and/or help that his smooth-talking compadre has given him yet. So it'll be interesting when that comes up in conversation. I don't even remember where we left. I think he was rushing off to check on Dorothy or something, right?
Dorothy, Mary Jo.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Mary Jo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kansas.
Insert
I don't know why I
another
was thinking Kansas.
country name here. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll keep that one on the back burner for when we need one.
Yeah. Yeah. But 10-4, yeah, and your character was riding in here with smugglers, and you bailed on them when they had wounded on the ship, so they weren't too happy about that. So, Shaun, tell us how you're playing.
I am playing Spencer Witt. He is he's 14. He is a scion, and he has stowed away on the ship as he is on the run from the Tanu Klava, which is basically an organized crime group. He's trying to kind of keep a low profile, stay one step ahead of those guys as he does his best to just kind of fit in with the group.
Very cool. Very cool. And I'd like to also point out that the smugglers that Dr. Jack Breach is on, that came from, are working for the Tanu Clava. So everything's kind of connected together because that's how I roll as the GM. So, but that's not good for Spencer or Dr. Jack Breach. So, and oh, I got the damn Fantasy Grounds is connected to the wrong damn OBS is connected to the wrong Fantasy Grounds windows. I'll have to fix that later. So thank you everyone for joining us. We appreciate y'all all for being here. If you want to help us out, click follow. Best way to help us out is just showing up and watching. You can leave those notifications on to also through Twitch because I don't spam people with those reruns. I don't like doing that. But and also subscribe if you got Twitch Prime. I know a lot of people don't like to subscribe because it costs people hard-earned money. But if you got Twitch Prime, help us out. Definitely appreciate it because Zoom and stuff like that isn't free. But we're going to jump right into the story. So when we last left, I know a lot of the crew was jumping on the landing shuttle to go fly out to Mary Jo's because her I believe it was her youngest son, Ben, who was attacked by the grub swarm. And when the grub swarms were kind of agitated and getting aggressive and were all flipping out all over this planet. Well, sorry, not all of this planet, this localized facility, which is where the military base is. And well, you don't actually know how far-reaching it is. And so you guys are all decided to just go help Mary Jo. And so some of you were getting on the landing shuttle, and I want to know exactly how many of you were going. And what you had at the moment was back at the ship, you guys had figured out a way to kind of calm the grub swarm, but you had to do so by essentially jamming the opposing frequency by kind of like sending an opposing frequency to kind of offset it. But to do that, you have to basically just constantly keep power running from the ship and keep sending out that frequency. Because you can't reach the opposing frequency. You have to figure out where it's coming from and stop at the source. So for now, your ship has to just basically keep running, or at least keep power on and sending out that signal, and has to keep pumping it out. So what do you guys do? Like, who is going to Mary Jo's? Who's staying? I think we briefly talked about it, but I wanted to confirm with everyone just before we left to make sure who is going.
Who was up there? It was me and Arthur up there, and the
rest of you were near the edge of the ship because they were all just running inside for the most part, right at the end.
I remember running back down to the entrance there and seeing Levi and I believe Spencer, and I told them that I was needed to go to Mary Jo's, but I cannot remember who responded with taking the shuttle pod. So that's about as far as I got. Does anybody have any input?
My notes have that Jack and I were getting on the shuttle to head that way. Which, side note, they're in Fantasy Grounds and should be public, but
yeah, because I was by the main loading area, and they were going out a different way. So I don't think that I even knew that they were leaving.
The shuttle is entrance, I think, is upstairs versus
Oh, the ship.
But on the ship, yeah. But still.
Yeah, I mean, we can put you on the map if you wanted to, but the shuttle entrance is near. I can share it if y'all want to see it, actually. But the shuttle entrance is.
Maps.
Well, you're gonna love this game because I got a ton of sci-fi maps. I don't know why there's a bunch of grubs on there. I don't remember putting grubs on there. I guess one of you guys did.
The grubs are there from last time.
I didn't put them there, did I, though? Oh, well. So I shared it on the combat tracker for you guys. Shared it in the chat log. But that's just a map for you guys you can kind of look at. Some of you actually probably haven't seen the map yet. But yeah, you can. Yeah, the cargo. Probably all of you are near where the cargo bay comes out, which is here.
Yep.
So yeah, so all of you may be running past each other as you get near the cargo bay, and so all of you maybe come together, maybe perhaps. That is assuming if Arthur and Dr. Jack Breach come down there. I don't have any clue if they do.
Yeah, we
And-
would have. Because as soon as Jack heard that over the radio, I think he was running. And the notes are public. Thank you for that, by the way. These are very, very robust notes.
What about Arthur?
Well, does the frequency seem to be fairly stable? Like, if they leave,
You
it
don't
doesn't
have to.
deviate.
You don't have to change the signal.
Okay. So yeah, then
I'll say that
it
it stays stable, like without
Okay.
you changing it. That's just
doesn't
assuming
mean
though
fading.
nothing happens. Like nothing happens to the ship. But yes, you won't
Right.
have to make any modifications to the signal, like actively.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. Since you rolled such an amazing science roll, I'll say that your character knows that this signal has to be extremely specific for it to affect the grubs. Like they can't make any modifications to it. If they make a slight modification, they can go from making the grubs want to attack people to the grubs to want to start screwing each other. Does that make sense? Like just a slight
Yes.
modification. So they can't screw with it to change to fight your signal, or else the grubs change completely.
Mm.
So
Okay. Then I guess Arthur will probably go with everyone else as well.
And I think that when they were all loading up is when I stepped to the side and was calling the director.
sure.
I'm pretty sure they left
Sure.
without me.
You could have been getting on while you were talking to the director. Sure.
Okay, if that works, then yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, I mean your comm link is a device on your person, so everyone is getting on the landing shuttle to all go to Mary Jo's.
Should anybody stay with the ship?
Up to you guys.
Assuming Spencer says that in person.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, or in
well
character.
yeah, that's what I say. Like, shouldn't somebody stay with the ship? Given the
Oh,
fact
someone should.
Sorry,
but
I have a
I want
difficult
to get
time
away from
sometimes
those
telling when
drugs.
Shaun's role playing and when he's talking out of character. My apologies.
No,
Okay, I'll continue on. Sorry.
yeah. That's why I say that. Like, shouldn't somebody stay with the ship?
All I know is I have to get there. Mary Jo's boy needs me.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna stay with the ship because if I don't know, if anything happens, I have been able to keep these grubs at bay. The ship is our only chance off this godforsaken rock. So I don't think it's a good idea for us to not leave somebody behind.
Arthur, do you believe that signal was stable? I kind of left down here in a hurry. I wasn't really looking at the monitors.
As far as I can tell, it's stable unless something happens to the ship.
Okay, and then did we hear Aston's call to the mayor, or did Aston relay any of that?
No.
Okay,
The director.
yeah, the director.
Yeah.
All right then. I guess then it's the four of us, and the young one stays. Captain Levi.
Sounds like a plan. Don't scratch the ship.
All right. From stowaway to skipper, he's moving up in the world.
I'm like, I'll just take command while you're gone. It's fine.
He's the interim captain.
Maybe someone else
Yeah.
should stay with the ship.
I have the con.
Nice.
If
Nice.
I need anything, I'll just call.
All right.
I wonder if
Sounds
Star
good.
Trek is even a thing in the 28th century,
I don't know.
or if it's like
Maybe
advanced to
doing some
4,000.
hardcore sitting on my ass while they're.
So Mary Jo's isn't far away. It's a couple of miles away. So in the shuttle, it should be like a hop and a skip.
Yes. Yes.
So on the trip over there, I'm kind of like getting out my med scanner and some medical gel and like prepping it all, because I have. She told me he was messed up in the legs real bad. So I'm just like mentally preparing myself. I don't know what everybody else's worries are at this point, other than crazy horny grubs.
Aston's just trying to go with the numbers.
Okay.
All right, so I must have awarded some bennies to you guys in the last session because some of you have been hoarding bennies and not spent them because Levi and Spencer both have 6 bennies. Is that correct?
What?
Jeez.
I remember
So-
having 4.
I didn't know they carried over.
Well, if you're over the amount, they carry over, I think. So I'm gonna hit the reset bennies button and we'll see what happens.
Bloop.
Okay, they don't carry over apparently in this edition. So they do not carry over. So you guys need to actively spend them. In previous editions, if you had over, they will carry over. So you guys
All right.
do need to actively spend them. So, and I will
No
reward
worries.
them. So I'm at I gave one to Levi last session, and now that everybody's together, I won't be as worried about getting the party together. Last session, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm getting to advancement, so I was going to do it on the shuttle ride over.
Okay, yeah, got it.
So, like now that I'm not as absorbed with like trying to get everybody to meet, I'll be able to focus more on actuals, like stuff like that. So, but we've got Benny's reset, and now I'm gonna give action cards. So, so now guys can take a look at your action cards actually, and see what they do. Confirm with yourselves, kind of understand them. Now would be a good time to talk to me and ask me questions about what they do, if you have any concerns. And now it's time to award your advancement for the first couple of sessions. So I'll click a button and hit that. You guys got an advance.
Yay.
So, all right, good job, guys. Yay, you survived. All right, you've survived 2 sessions in a pretty brutal game. All right, so
I have
it's a good time. Huh?
I have an adventure card question.
Yes, go ahead with it.
This one says Arcane Inspiration, and you get bonus to trait rolls made to activate powers. I don't think that's applicable.
Yeah.
Should we nuke and?
Then I will just give you another one.
Cool.
And just for clarity, you can use them for other people too, though, right?
Oh?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's actually good.
specifically
I think you
says
can,
friend
actually.
or foe. So
Mhm. Is it an action to use them?
no.
Okay.
which Razer headset is that, by the way? The Kraken?
Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it not? Is it comfy?
Yeah, it's comfy.
'Cause I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm using a Jabber Evolve 4, top of the line.
think I've ever heard of that one.
Standard issue
Yeah.
corporate headset. Definitely need to replace it.
Oh, okay. You were joking. I actually don't know what brand that is. So
Yeah,
it
that's
looks like
what I'm
it
saying.
looks like it
It's
does
just-
not very comfortable on the ears though. It looks like it's kind of small.
It
Kinda
is.
snug on the ears.
And I got big
Yeah.
ears. I know it doesn't look like it, but I got a massive head. All right.
Well, mine's awful cushiony on the ears. When I first started wearing it though, it would squeeze down so tight on my head it would give me headaches. So
Oh,
I had
man.
to like bend it out constantly. Like I would sit there for like an hour the first time I got it and just constantly bend it. But I had that problem with like pretty much every headset I buy. So it wouldn't knock against the headset. It's just headsets in general.
Big head problems.
Yes, big head problems. So
Who's driving the shuttle? Is it the
Me.
captain? Okay.
I'm assuming it's pilot with piloting skill. So
Perfect.
now your new one, Levi, is a character gains the benefit of 1 edge regardless of requirements for the rest of this encounter. So you
Yeah,
use it in an
that's kind of
encounter.
insane.
Yeah. Well, by the way, an encounter doesn't have to be a combat encounter. An encounter can be like a story scene. So,
Oh, yeah.
but for future reference, I will rule that Arcane Inspiration, the one that you did have, I will say that you can use it on an ally. So in the future, if you get that one, you can keep it, and you could use it on like say Shaun. But
Yeah.
but you do need to talk to Shaun and be
Nope.
like, hey, if you're gonna use a power, I've got this one, so we need to make sure we use it.
I didn't know that. I've not read the rules on the cards, so that's cool
Yeah.
to know that.
Hey, Shane, I was also going to ask, I've got 2 language slots. I've got English and I guess another one.
You should just have, you should have one. Okay, I was actually going to talk to you guys after the first session, and when they were making their characters, I had decided how I was going to do languages since we discussed it. I just decided to give everyone English because we needed to have a common language among everybody, and the one most common in the setting. And then I just decided to give you all a second language.
Okay.
And you just choose one. We can just discuss it amongst ourselves. I'd rather not have us spend a whole lot of time talking about it in game about what that'll be. But you guys can email me and we'll talk about it. So, let's see. You guys can spend your advancement. I'll just talk briefly to the stream about actually some house rules and stuff while you guys are spending your advancement. So, some of the house rules and stuff in our game that we're playing right now, if you're watching for the first time, we're using the wound cap system where players can only suffer from maximum 4 wounds, which means that they can go down in one hit, but it means they won't likely be just overwhelmed in one hit. They can still soak themselves out of it. It just basically prevents Savage Worlds has a problem where a person can just take 50 damage and there's no way they can soak themselves out of it. So we're using the wound caps house rule. We're also using where everyone gets the hard to kill edge. So basically you don't suffer wound penalties to soak rolls. It's essentially we implemented that one just because no one takes that edge because it's fun. People only take it not to have their characters die. And it's essentially because there's a death spiral in Savage Worlds. You take all your wounds, you take another hit. The minute you take bleeding out section of the game, you're gonna fail. You're gonna die. I mean, the off chance you don't die is just because you aced. That's just how Savage Worlds works. It's always worked that way. So anybody who doesn't want their character to die takes hard to kill. It's just the way it works. It's just I think it's a flaw in the game design. I don't think wound penalties should apply to bleeding out rules, and that's just how I like to play it. So, yeah, it's savage as fuck, but it doesn't really reward story first. So, but yeah, crazy kinky. Welcome back, man. Thank you for joining us last week. We appreciate you for being here. So, but that's just how we're playing it. I think that's mainly it for the house rules we play with. And we use the more skill points because it's a sci-fi setting. That's the big ones. All right, so what about your advancement, guys? How are you guys doing? What do we pick? Levi got the connections edge, right, to represent his massive, big family, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Cliff, what about you? What'd you pick? Did you get decided yet?
I'm gonna bump my athletics up to 6 to match equal with my strength. One notch up.
Okay. Oh, just in the future, by the way, I was thinking. I know you haven't jumped on the Discord yet, but I think I mentioned on Discord. I may not have. I apologize, but I was going to. I'm gonna make athletics not as valuable as I have been. I feel like I've been incentivizing athletics too much. I will probably not do that as much in the future. So it'll still be valuable. Like I felt like in the last game, Cliff definitely should have rolled athletics because it was very climactic moment trying to escape from the grub swarm. But everybody else on the ship, I should have just rolled. I should have just said, you get to where you need to go. Does that make sense? And use the running die system. So I'm not going to incentivize athletics as much as I used to. So
then I'm going to make a change. I'm going to change my notice up to 6 then.
So 10-4. I just don't want to. I don't want to play the kind of game that does that. So, and notice is another game too where I don't incentivize as much as most people in D&D do. I don't call for notice rolls. If that makes any sense, Cliff?
I can preemptively do it though, right?
You tell me when you want to roll notice.
Perfect.
Okay. I generally, when I'm GMing, I describe what the average person will see, and I'd use the normal rules of notice versus stealth, and then that's it. I don't overuse notice like in most D&D games. Like I'm that GM who uses passive perception in D&D 5e a lot. So Uh, Matt, what'd you pick?
I bumped Arthur's smarts up to a D10. It now matches his science.
Nice. All right, taking advantage of that. Just remember, you won't be able to take it again until you get to seasoned. Won't be able to raise the attribute again. All right, cool.
Yep.
All right, Jack Breach.
After the fiasco with the crazy discovery of the counter frequency, I think Jack's going to take another electronics point. So I'm
All
gonna
right.
burn my advancement on that.
10-4. All right, cool. Cool thing. All right. And Shaun, what about you? What are you taking with your advancement?
So I was thinking about this kind of the other day. I upped vigor to D6 as my one, what is it, attribute advance for novice.
You don't want to get hit and just get fucked, basically, with the first hit?
Yeah. A lot of it's like just trying not to die, obviously. But the other side, I don't feel I've used any skills enough.
Yeah.
To justify a skill raise, but I think this is something I was going to kind of incorporate in the game, if you would, which is everybody probably notices like he's putting on weight because when he first joined the crew, Spencer was very, very thin and very emaciated. As like now that he's getting like reliable access to food and sleep, everybody's like, oh yeah, hey, he doesn't, look like he's close to death. So
nice.
His vigor definitely increased now that he's, eating 3 square meals a day.
He's not fat though or anything. He's just gotten like healthy weight.
No, it's just like he was way under his BMI.
Right. No, I got it.
Like,
I follow you.
People probably were looking at him like, are you okay? Like,
yeah. Well, I was actually commenting that a couple of times. Like his strength was D4 and D6. I described him as scrawny and small. So very cool.
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
So everybody's definitely noticed he's made some. He looks just healthier.
Very cool. And before we jump also into getting to Mary Jo's real quick, I want to have a quick rules discussion on one of my callings last session. So we did handle fear incorrectly. I don't know why I did what I did and why I second guessed myself. I won't get into that. But in the future, when you see a fear roll or area effect powers in the future, it will be handled differently. Fear, pretty much every area effect power is unopposed. The reason why you want to roll high on a power roll is because 1, you're trying to get over the check to succeed in casting it. 2, you want to get high enough to get a raise so you can make their check to fail at a -2. So you get the -2 penalty to apply to them. You get a raise. And the reason why it's unopposed is because if you're rolling at a table, it's just very difficult as far as efficiency-wise to roll one person versus 12 to 15. It's just not very efficient or not very... So they'd have to roll against the target number 4, but they get a penalty if you get a raise. So basically, area effect roll is unopposed. And so, Shaun, I want you to keep an eye on your powers really good.
Mm-hmm.
It will say specifically in the power if it is opposed. It will say the target makes an opposed roll.
Yeah.
So, if not, assume it's just a basic roll. So, and you can also notice that if it says a raise gives them a -2, typically that means it's an unopposed roll. So, because why would it also give you a -2? I just wanted to also point that out. I did go through it.
Okay, so like with fear,
it just says make a fear roll. So
yeah, the power is cast with a raise. The fear test.
Yeah, it's just because once you start rolling, you're rolling 1 versus 15. It's kind of like how in D&D, for example, you got saving throws. It's not an opposed roll. So, but so in that case, the one grub would have failed and one grub would have succeeded. So, but we're not gonna. Obviously, we're past that. But
yeah.
I just wanted to, point out that we'll be changing that in the future. So you guys are in the landing shuttle, and you're zipping over to Mary Jo. So what you guys see is, first off, it's twilight now, right? The sun's starting to come down in the sky. And do you guys want to say that your characters, because you would have known it was twilight or coming near twilight when you left the shuttle, do you guys want to say you grab any special equipment from the ship before you leave out, knowing the time of day it's going to be?
I think Jack has everything in his little sling backpack
Like
thing.
Twilight
so I
or
think I have
Dusk?
everything
What is
he
that?
owns.
The sun's going down, but yeah.
Yeah.
So you have a backpack?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like everything Jack owns is on his person. So
Okay.
there's nothing I could have grabbed.
Okay. All right.
Is
so
there any
Arthur's
is there
grabbing a
any
flashlight.
is there any common knowledge with a terrible 3 roll that I would know about this planet, specifically at night, that would be different than in day?
You've been here a few days. I'll say you had a +2 to this. It just makes sense. You could make a. It's up to you. You would know you need a rebreather or a with an oxygen mask if you think you're going to end up in combat. Because the O2 levels are slightly lower than normal. You don't want to exert yourself. Just because the O2 levels are slightly lower, it's easier to get exhausted. Because the workers even wear them because they spend hours out there sometimes. It's not enough to like just walk around in for it to bother you. But if you're going to get in a fight, it's not bad to have one. If you don't have one, you can make a retroactive wealth roll to say you bought one. There you go. So just grab a rebreather from the sci-fi companion.
Alrighty, thank you.
I believe it's called rebreather.
It is, yep.
Yeah, the rest of you guys can make. Actually, you guys all noticed in the story. The rest of you did. Jack Breach can make the same common knowledge roll if he wanted to.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. See what I got. Oops. Yeah, Jack forgot.
Yeah, you're just completely oblivious.
Use
you
a
haven't
Benny.
even noticed.
I'm focused on
can
that
spend a
boy
penny.
and his leg.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you're just focused. Maybe you're just focused.
I'm going to say this is going to be a long night, boys. I'm going to save them bennies. I only got 2 of them.
Yeah, he's unlucky. Yeah, he actually can't spend a penny. He got a critical failure. He can't spend pennies on critical failures. Okay. All right, so you guys are all on the landing shuttle, and you're getting near...
Can I do the wealth roll to have retroactively gotten a rebreather?
Sure.
The bought one, I mean.
Sure.
Cool.
There you go.
Shit, buy one
Why
for
you have that
everybody,
Joker?
big money.
I don't know why that gave you a Joker, but... Oh, because the last game you were on a... There you go. No one has a Joker now. Okay. But anyways, regardless, you still got it. So, okay, so everybody's in the landing shuttle, and you're zipping on over there, and so you're heading over to Mary Jo's, and you feel like you're very close, but the ground is still very dark because it's dusk and the sun is coming down. What's that sound coming from? We got some background on the mics.
Someone just did
Is
it.
that mine?
Whoever just muted.
Is it me? Mic check?
Nope.
It wasn't
was
me?
mine for a
Okay.
second there. But no.
Test.
Oh, well, it's gone now.
Darth Vader
So.
was back there shitting on Luke.
Okay, well, it's fixed now. Thank goodness. All right, good deal. Okay, so anyway, so your characters are you're zipping on through. There's dusk, so obviously from the sky, the ground looks really dark, like it's almost cast a perpetual shadow, and but you still can make out Mary Jo's faintly, but it's much darker than you expected it to be. And then you see this black mass over her house, and it seems to be moving.
Can we tell? Is that Grubs?
Aston, you can make
Is there
out.
any kind of
These are definitely. It seems to be that there is definitely a swarm of grubs that has crawled and made its way over her entire house. And it seems to be all over the yard and just kind of like meandering its way all around the fields around her house.
Oh, I thought I was getting away from these.
Is there some form of exhaust from this shuttle? I don't know what propels it forward, but the thought is I want to like.
It's got a fusion drive.
It's got a what now?
It's got a fusion drive.
Oh, darn. Well,
actually, probably not. No, it wouldn't have a fusion drive. Your ship has a fusion drive, but it's probably got probably just like a really advanced like combustion drive, probably because it's not really. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that bay is really small, so
it's not made for like traveling in
like
hyperspace or anything like that, or interstellar subspace. So,
could Arthur roll to see if these grubs are docile at this point? Because they should be, since the frequency is interfering.
Yeah, I'll say that's going to be a -2 though, but yeah.
Okay. What?
It'd just be a notice, but it'd be a -2 to make out that detail.
Notice. Okay.
What if I fly us really close to them? Can he get a not -2?
Just from flying, it's gonna be hard to tell that.
When you guys land, when you choose to do so, I think that Jack would try to make a run through it. Like he would try to make a dash for it to get to Mary Jo's house.
Well, so before we land, I wanted to like do some sort of close flyby in hopes of, I don't know, shooing some of them, scaring some of them, something like that, and then set it down.
Arthur, is it normal for these things to swarm like this at night?
You can make a science roll if you want.
Okay.
I should make one too. I don't think I have science.
So, Arthur, so either these things are trying to get into the house and they're eating their way into the house, or two, since the aggressive frequency has been kind of counteracted, they're just kind of like entered their normal state where they were, and
they're just out of the pit now.
Yeah, and
okay.
Yeah, and they just haven't gone back to their pit because why would they?
Right. Arthur passes that on.
Doesn't this pod have some sort of flamethrower or a shock that it could shoot out?
Yeah, it's right next to the grenades in the back.
Well, then we should use them.
That's sarcasm.
Well, that's not helpful.
I love how he just assumes they've got like equipped to the gills with weapons.
I totally believable. Totally believable.
No, I'm no Aston. No, I'm just he's like assumes Levi. That these guys got badass gear.
Levi, when you're done, flying in circles around Mary Jo's house, can you set this thing down so I can get over there and help her little boy?
You don't see the boy.
Well, I know, but I know he's inside and he's hurt.
Yeah,
I need to get in there.
So you see two structures. You see the whatever's essentially the barn, but it wasn't really a barn. It's more like a storage shed where they pretty much hold drones and drone racks and supplies, and then you see the house.
Oh, what's the future? I try to hail Mary Jo over our comms.
Sure. I love that statement, Hail Mary Jo. All right. Okay,
I thought you were laughing at it's the future. We have comms.
Yeah. Well, it's like the future. It's 2019. You can still call people on the phone.
I was about to say we have pocket computers that can call anybody.
Yeah. Can you text her?
That's try to raise her. Mary Jo, we're just above your house outside, circling around. Where are you at?
She says, "We're inside. You can see the bugs. They're everywhere."
Are they trying to get in? Are they doing anything to the house right now? Do they seem like they've calmed down?
Well, some of them, but some of them are trying to eat their way in. It's probably the ones that are half starved. They're scratching their way out the doors and trying to eat their way into the windows.
I can't blame them with the shitty food on this planet.
Comms are on speaker, so Arthur would hear that. Whatever the frequency's doing, it seems to be not working the farther away from the ship we get. I can only imagine what the rest of the area is like.
Well, since we've already created an emitter, my thought is, and I happen to know that if slight changes to the frequency can change the grub behavior, I think we might be able to MacGyver another emitter just in this localized area.
Okay. So like using the landing shuttles, like
Yeah, whatever's on the shuttle.
signal thing. Okay.
Can I make
Okay.
a roll to see if I kind of want. I'm looking at the landing shuttle. The landing shuttle's a lot smaller. It doesn't have the same power output as the big ship, and I'm just saying, like, it took a lot of power out of the ship to do what I did last time. I don't know if I'll be able to reroute enough without messing up this little boat.
We may have to bring down some subsystems to pull it off, and replace them once we want to fly away. But
We're not that far from the ship. I'll just land us closer to the barn than the house, kind of a thing.
What is the Stockton's relationship or notoriety with the Takas government?
They're like a small mom and pop type farm. I mean, they put out quite a bit of volume when it comes to grubs, but they're still not a big corporate, what do you call it, operation.
So they're actually like grub farmers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's something that we would have went over when we were at dinner last time, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Astrid just, doesn't she know how to make them go docile? What kind of a grub wrangler doesn't know how to wrangle grubs?
I would just hold the button down so Mary Jo heard that.
She says, well, most of them are docile right now, but the ones attacking me I can't do anything about. I can't get out to the drone rigs to fire up the drones.
And you don't have any weapons in the house?
Well, yeah, I do, but I don't have access to my torchers. They're out in the warehouse, out in the storage room.
So if we turn on the drones, that would be helpful.
Tell us how to do it.
Yeah, sure. Get out to the storage building. You can fire up the drones. That would help a lot.
Astrid pulls out his pistol. He's
That's
just
where I
holding
was
it.
landing anyway, right?
That is what you said, yeah. So Levi is probably like in the process, I'm guessing, of like doing a nice little fucking hairpin turn and then like a little shuttle, like bringing her down. Like,
yeah. Now there's grubs around the field and ground around the warehouse, but they're not climbing on the building. So you'll still have to like step on grubs and stuff.
Okay.
And like walks amongst them, but you won't have to worry about them like climbing on the building.
All right.
Now, if you could, if Levi was able to make a good enough flying roll, you could like hover over the building and jump onto the building and not have to worry about grub swarms and get in through maybe the top, maybe.
Certainly tempting.
Because it is a VTOL craft.
Oh, is it now?
No, it's always been.
I imagine it makes that noise from the ships from the Jetsons.
I haven't watched the Jetsons in a long time. So why don't you tell me what that sounds like, Jason?
Oh, man, I can't even make that noise.
Well, there you go. Someone did it. So
yeah, thank you.
Close enough.
So, yeah, as soon as you set us down,
Yeah.
On what? The ground?
Jack. Yeah, where we're sitting down on the ground, right? We're not gonna risk the crash through the roof of this thing.
Oh, come on. But okay, on the ground.
Jack is still making he's gonna try and make it to the house to help Mary Jo.
Okay.
So I'm imagining that there's a lot of them, but it's not like a 4-foot wall of grubs. Like I could probably still get up to the door, with a quick dash and a couple of like
So you're just gonna
steps,
like trounce on the grubs?
Yeah, I'm just gonna straight through, like,
okay,
with all I got. I don't know if that's feasible. I'm just trying to like paint the scene in my head to see if like that would be just a dumbass idea.
I mean, there's a chance you could run into a patch of the grubs that are starved.
Yeah.
But that's a risk you can take. Sure.
All right. Jack would take it. Jack would
take it.
That kind of hero.
Well, so this is what we're gonna do then. We're going to I'm going to spend a GM Benny then, because he's unlucky.
Yeah.
And declare that he encounters some of the grubs that want to eat people, because they're starved.
And then as
Boom.
I'm running, before I get all fucked up by grubs, Jack would shout, "Get the drones ready, Arthur. Get them ready," because he knows you're the only one that's smart enough to probably turn them on.
I don't know how to use electronics.
That's okay. I do.
All right. So how could he
What
get it?
happens?
How could he
Well,
get him
Jack.
ready? Because you're the one going in the building.
Oh yeah, I'm going. No, I'm going to Mary Jo's. So I'm
Oh,
like,
you're
we
going
need
to Mary
get the drone.
Jo's.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
going
well, I
straight
don't have
to
to
Mary
spend
Jo's.
GM for that Benny for that one. Then there's
Yeah.
definitely aggressive ones for that one. I'm giving that one back.
No
I thought you were
takebacks.
going into those. Oh, I can't.
Yeah, no, because I'm all I think about is that boy's hurt. Jack's got to do what he has to do.
All right.
Doesn't matter if he gets hurt.
I'm gonna provide him with cover fire because that's my investment.
Yeah.
Well, what a gentleman.
Oh. Okay. All right. Sweet. Good deal.
All
right,
here
so-
we go.
Okay. Then we're gonna drop some bad guys in the combat tracker. All right. So this shit's about to get real. Okay. So, but before we do that, Spencer. So Spencer, you get a call on the heads-up displays, the vid screens on the ship, and you see an individual that you have not met before, and he's wearing the military outfits of the Tychus Defense Force, and he is a well-kept man, and dark olive skin, and short-cropped black hair, and he's standing right in front of the vid screen, very proper-like, and he says, "Hello, is this the Griffin Explorer vessel parked outside the food processing center?"
I think I left standing orders not to answer the phone. Kidding.
Oh, did you? Oh, shit.
I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. I'm like, yeah. I mean, yeah. Can I help you? Do you need me to take a message?
He says, "Is your captain not there, little one?"
I like mumbling around a little prick. No, he's out. I think he's wrangling grubs.
He says, "Unfortunately, that's what most of my team is doing as well." He says, "Look, unfortunately, just pass on this message. Unfortunately, we're unable to get help to your craft as quickly as we had hoped. I was speaking to Aston Courtney, and we were planning on getting help to you as quick as possible in the situation currently going on, but we're having issues right now, and we believe that there are people attacking our facility. We've spotted people coming in from the north face of the military establishment, our Tychus Defense Force tower, and so I don't want to alarm you, especially given your age, but you need to stay inside your vessel. But right now, we're not able to send help, or at least the help we have sent out is currently being held up by the grubs, and we're not able to send more in assistance. So, unfortunately, you are on your own at the moment." And right after he says that, you hear like faint gunfire coming from behind him on the microphone, and he kind of looks back and he says, "We believe that the grub attack was now an orchestrated military strategy of some kind, or we're not sure if it's military or guerrilla, but just know that your team is on your own, unfortunately. Pass that on to your captain. However, whichever way you can, pass that on to your captain. And since you are on your own, I suggest you stay on your vessel."
Yeah. I'm definitely going to be staying on the vessel. As a side note, out of character, we found a frequency that kind of keeps these things confused or just keeps them from attacking.
He says, "Yes, I've already spoke to Aston Courtney about this." So,
Okay, just wanted to make sure you guys were aware. I'll send the captain a note saying we're on our own.
Right. Unfortunately, I have to handle this military engagement that I'm currently in. Stay in your position, and hopefully you'll hear back from me soon. And then, right as he says, thank you, and then he starts to proceed to say something else, the feed gets cut. And it goes like black and white, like fuzzy, and the feed gets cut, and then a split second later, all the power goes off in your ship.
Oh, fuck. I knew I forgot that if else statement.
All right, now, that's right about the same time that you are walking across to Mary Jo's house. So, all right.
I send the captain a text, and I'm like, our defense force not coming to our rescue. Gonna try to get power turned back on.
Yay.
So that
You sending this specifically to just Levi or to everybody?
we'll send a group text.
Perfect.
So I'm just, go around, go to the fuse panel, just like hitting breakers and like, pulling out tools, and if I can like, jump start the ship.
All right. Okay.
Because I'm worried that something bad's going to happen and we're going to be like dead in the water.
That's a very good concern.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to put a grid out there.
And then I also text,
just so I can put
when
some...
are you guys coming back?
I love it.
Yeah.
Guys, it's dark. I'm scared.
Yeah. And I probably sent too many text messages with too many like question marks, like coming back.
Yeah, I silenced my phone already.
Yeah, now.
Lots of emojis going out.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Bunch of crying
Kids.
faces.
Kids these days. No, he didn't even use words. It was just like an all emoji text message. Like very.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just like
I don't know if
light bulb.
yeah, we'll
It's
just
just
say
flashlight
emojis
question mark.
since it's the 21st century. But I doubt even like people use emojis in the because of how language changes. I don't know. They probably use like hieroglyphics by that point. I don't
It's
fucking
just all
know.
cuneiform.
Yeah, like I don't know how people talk in the 28th century. So maybe they've gone back and they even use actual words now. I don't know how that fucking works. So, okay, so I've put we're not using a combat grid like to represent like because I'm not putting a farm out there and all that kind of stuff. We just need to know relation to people. So that's what we're doing. So I put the grub swarms near you. So they are the size of a medium burst template. So they will be. I think you do that by doing this. Yeah.
Are we supposed to see a grid at this point?
You got to pull up the Takas map. Go into
There you
images and then Takas 3.
Okay.
Excuse me.
And pull up your combat tracker if you haven't already.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, combat tracker.
All right, where's that in relationship to the house?
You're like on the front porch when
gotcha.
the swarms like start swarming at you. So yes, that gives you an idea of how big they are. So there you go.
How far do I need to run to get out of the swarm and into the house? Because that would be my first effort.
Well,
Get through
these
the door.
swarms, if you break the barrier into the house, so essentially they're gonna. Actually, I'll say one of these is invisible. I'll say one of the angry swarms, is in the house. So
Okay.
that just makes it more fun. Fun first. So, all right. So this one is right up on you at the front door. All right. So, and now cards. We're just gonna start with because the rest of you really aren't in the scene yet. Actually, Aston. Well, but Jack goes first. So, Jack, you see the swarms like getting aggressive towards you, and you're right
Okay.
amongst them when they start like getting aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Before we do this, I have one question. Can you read my adventure card?
Sure,
You can
wanna
look
link
at
it?
our. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can't.
I just
link
want
in
to
chat
know if
because
this
you'll use it.
applies to the creatures as well.
Play in a combat situation your character does or says something so shocking that it brings an area to a standstill. All their characters, friend or foe, are shaken.
Insult the grub's mother.
Friend or foe. What the fuck? How would I use that for grubs?
I know. That's what I was. I think
Can
I
the
could just like.
grubs
I just like step
understand?
on one, and then I just pick another one up and rip its head off, and then I just walk to the door. I don't
Maybe
know
maybe
what how
you're
to shake it
maybe.
do, but
Why don't you just say you start stomping on the grubs and you start shouting or something? Maybe you say something while you're stepping on them, and they get shaken. How about that?
sick of all these goddamn bugs on this goddamn porch. And I start banging on the door for Mary Jo to let me in. But I'll definitely burn that if it'll get.
Well, she
me at
didn't
least to
lock
the
it
door.
because grubs can't get to the door. So you,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
yeah. So you just throw the door open. All right.
Yeah.
And all right. So you sling the door open, but unfortunately, you realize as soon as you sling the door open, the grubs are going to start following you in.
Yeah. So I guess it would be. I don't know if I can make the effort to close the door behind me at this point, or what that would take.
Okay.
Because
it's going to
obviously they're not
require
gonna-
an athletic check because now there's a swarm of bugs that are 6 inches long,
Yep.
piling into the door. Well, no, they're shaking, actually. So, no, they're not piling into the door. So, lucky for you. You slam the door shut. So,
Yeah, because shaking
good
they have
job.
to like move away, right? They can only move away.
Yeah, they
Is
can
that
only
how
move,
shaking
and that's all they
works?
can do when they're shaking.
Okay.
So, it's actually good on you for shaking them.
What a clutch ass
So,
fucking card.
nice. So,
Don't worry, that unlucky trait's gonna get me one day, guys. Don't worry, it's coming.
all right. So, good job. All right. Now,
That's
it is Aston Courtney. You saw all the grubs start attacking him when he was on the front porch. Actually, Spencer. We'll do him first. Actually, so Spencer,
Okay.
how do you respond to the power going out in the ship?
So what I do is I run around and just start. First thing I do is start, which is like an idiot, and then I'm like, okay, I think I remember something about panel somewhere, and so I run around with like looking for that stuff. Probably should roll a repair.
Sure. You can try to roll repair. All right.
Okay,
Do you have a repair skill?
definitely something I'm going to want to Benny if I have to.
Do you have the repair skill?
I do, yes. Very low.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
Well, you aced on it, so that worked out good. Okay.
Victory.
All right. Okay. So you run around and you panic for a moment because you don't know what to do, and then you're like, okay, I've done this a little bit. I've done this a little bit. All right. So you power the ship back up, and it comes back on. But then you realize that you're not hearing that sound anymore that you were hearing before of the jamming signal. All right.
Okay. Shit. Okay. Fuck. Okay. So I just like send a text. I'm like, dude, guys, the jammer's dead. Gonna try to work on it.
Okay, well, that's all your turn right now. Okay, so
Yeah.
now, Aston Courtney. Jack Breach has slammed the door shut behind him. The grubs are freaking out. What do you do?
So as far as freaking out, did they start to like back away, or are they kind of just like in the same area, like meandering amongst themselves?
At this point, the ones on the porch are just kind of like still kind of scrambling in place from getting stomped on as he like slammed the door shut behind him. But the ones all around in the field are all just freaking out. Like they're all shrieking, and some of them appear to probably be trying to run towards your ship if it's landed.
Uh-huh.
Some appear to be trying to run towards the house. Some appear to be trying to run towards the fields. Just generally, they're getting aggressive again. You
So with the
think that
10
the
notice-
signal is gone.
Okay, and with a 10 notice, can I determine like where I need to prioritize my focus right now? Like, is the group near the ship coming closer to us faster? Does it appear that more are coming towards the house in response to being stomped on? Like,
Real quickly, actually, before I answer that, Arthur, did anybody else make it off the landing shuttle, and were they already going to the storage room?
I don't think
You're
anybody else
muted,
had a
Matt.
turn yet.
You muted
Yeah,
Arthur.
no.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, I just noticed that. I was gonna say I thought we were going according to the combat tracker.
Well,
just
I
used the
actually
best
asked everybody what they're
in-character dialogue.
doing before we got to the combat tracker, and they flipped out. So, did anybody like say they were getting off and were prior to that?
I mean, Arthur would have gone to try to activate the drones.
Yeah.
That
So
was the
okay.
plan.
So then you see Arthur is already on the ground, heading towards the storage building, the drone storage, and so there is a pack heading towards Arthur, pack heading towards the shuttle, but it still looks like most of them are heading towards the building. But you can obviously assume that the building has protection,
Right.
it being a building. And people like, if Arthur can make it to the building, which I'm assuming Levi parked the shuttle close to the storage building. So then,
Okay. Then the group that's nearest to Arthur, then I'm going to take aim at and shoot into it to try to see if I can scare them or kill them if they don't back away from the gunfire.
okay. You fire your gun. I'm actually doing this just kind of make a point. You fire your gun at the swarm of bad guys, swarm of grubs. Your gunfire hits the swarm of grubs and it kills a handful of them because they're just a swarm of grubs, and your weapon attack feels almost ineffectual, killing only a handful of a massive swarm. You feel like your gun will be very ineffective against these grubs.
Well, the hopes was to scare more than to kill, but yeah, I gotcha.
Well, actually, I guess in narrative, I'm just kind of informing you that weapons are basically very ineffective. Physical guns are very ineffective against grub swarms. So
Nope, that makes perfect sense. And does killing off a few of them seem to slow? Like, do any of the ones that are creeping forward like stop to eat them, or is it just we don't notice anything? A couple fall back, and then the swarm just rolls over.
Swarm just rolls over them.
Okay. So I would shoot it and then just yell out like, "Arthur, I hope you've trained for running because we need to make this quick."
I'm going as fast as I can.
I'll give Levi a chance to make a battle roll. Okay, so weapons like guns and stuff are going to be really ineffective against these things to the point to where basically they don't do any real damage. Area effect weapons are very good and do complete normal damage. And you can stomp on them to do damage, and you can also use like the weapons like the soldiers used. So.
Which we don't have.
Yep, but there might be some in that building, though.
That's what I was gonna say. There are probably some in the barn.
So that would be my turn then. I'm still near the shuttle.
Yep.
Or in the shuttle, probably.
He's like his head out the window with the gun.
Yeah, exactly. Aiming it sideways.
Oh
I'll say the rest of you guys held your actions, actually. And if you guys want to act before the grub swarm, you can.
I'm inside the house, so I think I'm out of that, right?
You already acted, yeah.
Okay, you already got it.
So Arthur and Jeremy.
I think I want to try and run into the barn building to help with the drones and/or weapon.
All right, make an agility roll. It'll be an agility roll to see if you act before the. Oh, you know it won't be because you acted before them. Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, go ahead and take your action. Okay. All right. So you can get into the barn. All right, because I'm assuming you parked the shuttle near it.
Yeah,
So
yes,
yeah, I'm assuming you parked the shuttle, smartly right next to it.
that was the plan.
All right. So so you run in and Arthur's you just like run right past Arthur, who's very close to the door, and you swing the door open and you're inside now. And you see a small drone bay. It's not very big, mostly full of supplies actually. And there's a couple of drone racks. It looks like a lot of them are just damaged, or at least not fully like functional. But it looks like you see 2 fully operational drones, and they're in the racks.
Do I know anything if I should like run for a control panel to turn them on, or if I'd like to turn them individually on, or what?
You see a like, have you ever seen one of those crane controls that's on like a pendulum?
Nope.
Okay, well it's like a cable rig wrapped with like rubber, and it just hangs from the roof or something like that. This one hangs from the drone rack, and it's got just a series of buttons on it, and the buttons are like detach, power on, those sorts of things, and that's how you can get the drone to lower from the drone racks. So it's just to grab the pendulum and just get the drone down. So
Okay. I would like to try and do that.
all right.
If
Okay.
that's still.
You can, if you want to use one of the functioning drones, that is. So
Yeah.
I won't require an
Okay.
electronics roll to do this. This is just turning on. It's got basic names on the buttons. It's not. Yeah. So, all right.
I will do that.
Okay. All right. So you tell one to detach. The drone rig goes and it lowers the drone, and it kind of like you see like this complex machine as the drone drops, and then it's like on the ground now, and you can turn it on, but you'd have to slave it to your device if you want to control it, or you can just tell it to function in like its own automated mode if you want it to. However, that would require electronics roll, because you wouldn't know how to operate a drone unless you have the electronic skill.
I have the electronics at a D4.
Okay. All right. You can try to tell it to do its thing. I mean, but I think that this probably constitutes one action already. What you've done though, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
All right. So
If only there was someone you could ask
Yep.
on how to operate these.
All right. So Arthur, what do you do?
Arthur is going to run into the barn, and he sees
Yep.
Levi messing with the drone, getting
Yeah.
one down.
Yeah, you're probably coming in as the drone drops down. Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, here, you do this one.
I don't know how to do this. You've got more electronics than I do. I guess seeing Levi is taking care of the drones, Arthur is going to see if he can find any of those foam guns that the
Sure.
army was using, or the grub ranchers.
Yeah. Yeah, you see them. They're mounted on a mounting system over by some tool, like a tool table and stuff like that. And you see foam cannons, but you see 2 types of weapons actually, and I'll link them in chat, and you can choose which ones you want. And you see foam cannons, which are called. You see the binding foam cannons, and there's 2 of them. And you see 1 flame carbine. It's essentially a handheld flamethrower.
Right. Arthur is going to grab the flame carbine.
Okay. All right.
What's your strength?
It's a D6.
Can't use it.
But
You'll just take
carry
penalties.
it.
Oh,
So-
you can. Okay.
Your penalties for not having the minimum strength are
Where's the strength requirements? Oh, minimum strength. D8. I see.
it's because it's so big. The tank is
Right.
actually on the gun. It doesn't have a tank.
Well,
That's why it's
to be honest,
got the
his
penalties.
thought is not that he's going to use it, but that he's going to grab it and hand it to Levi or Aston, somebody who.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So
minimum strength requirements for guns, it just means that a ranged weapon, it means you take a -1 attack penalty for each die step difference. So,
Oh, that's not bad.
yeah, for ranged weapons.
die step difference. So
So if you're D6,
Yes.
you only get a -1.
oh, okay, between strength. Okay, got it. Okay, so yeah, he's gonna grab it off it, and he's gonna start bringing it back to either Levi or,
Okay.
If Aston's coming in, he'll bring it to Aston.
All right.
Levi's busy.
Okay. All right. And you're just grabbing the one weapon?
Can he grab two? Because he'll grab a.
Well, you got
foam
two
cannon
hands.
as well.
I'm assuming you
Okay,
could throw them
yeah.
under your shoulders and carry them over to
he will-
somebody.
will
So you're going to
definitely do
grab a binding foam cannon and grab a flame carbine? Okay.
Yes.
I put them, actually, so a good chance to teach both people about Savage Worlds, about Fantasy Grounds. I put them both in the party sheet. So if you go to the party sheet and you go to inventory tab, now you have them both in the inventory tab. So, and anyone can grab them from the inventory tab. So, all right. Okay. Now, I think it's the grubs now. Okay, so unfortunately the grub won, and yes, you notice that he gets a +2 to spirit because he's enraged. And grub 1, unfortunately, is still shaken. Grub 2, however, is the one in the house. And Jack, as soon as you open the door, you see that grubs are attacking everywhere, and they're aggressive everywhere. And you hear the pop of a gunfire as the family is apparently scrambling to shoot grubs. You can't see the family, but you hear it coming from behind the kitchen counter. And so you think the family is ducked away, hiding behind the kitchen counters. And
Should I think of this as one swarm object? It's one swarm.
yeah, it's one
Okay,
big swarm basically in this kitchen/dining area. Imagine it like a kind of like a sci-fi family version of like kitchen, like a breakfast nook and a kitchen combo.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
That's the
Yes,
room
it
you just
does.
walked
I
into.
can see it.
Yeah. And so, but they actually come to attack you as you open the door and swing in. So, all right. So what they do is they don't actually have to make attack rolls against you. They automatically do 2d4 damage to everyone in the template. So
Okay.
every round. So, and since they do 2d4, unfortunately, they have a high chance of getting aces. So, it's just the way it works. So, all right. So here we go. Oh wait, I don't know what I did. Wrong. I did that wrong. Hold on. They rolled 2 1s. Wow. All right. That's lucky right there. So you are unharmed. So they're biting and nipping away at your boots, and nothing bad really, unfortunately. So in other words, they haven't crawled up on you good yet. So
Thank goodness.
all right, now that is unfortunately the end of that turn. Want for the GM. So I'll actually move them around a little bit so it looks like that, because one's outside the door and one's inside the door. And that's
Got it.
what we got. And new turn order. And Arthur Haeckel, top of the turn order. You got 2 guns under your shoulder, a binding foam cannon and a flame carbine. What do you do now? You're muted.
He's running over to Levi, and he's going to drop the flame carbine there, and then he's going to run outside.
I should put a GM beanie and have the oxygen tank explode. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that.
He's going to run out the barn door, and he is going to attempt to shoot any nearby grubs.
So you open the door, and like there are grubs like everywhere as you open the door, like at the door as soon as you open it, and it's a door that swings. Actually, I'm assuming because most doors to a house open out, not in. So you actually find it difficult to open the door. So, you're gonna have to make a test to open the door because the grubs are smashing up against it and they're climbing on it and they're piling on it right now as they're trying to climb it. So it'll be an athletics roll to open the door.
Okay.
That makes any sense? No penalty. Actually, I'll give you a +2 to it, actually. Because they're just grubs. But it's still a roll. But if you want to do a... Hey, hold on real quick. Are you doing a multi-action? Do you still want to shoot when you open it?
Oh, I have to have it selected. I mean, he would. Why not? I mean, they're everywhere. Surely he can't miss.
Just make sure you hit that that button down there that says 1 action and click that 2 action. Make it where it says 2. All right. And then add a +2 in the modifier area before you roll the athletics roll. Oh, you didn't add the +2, did you? Oh, you're untrained. That's why.
I thought I did, but
you did, but you're unskilled, which applies a -2 to the athletics. Okay, so you kick on the door. So you push on the door a little bit, and then you kick on it, and so the door starts to swing open, but some of the grubs sneak in, and then when it swings open a little bit, you see that there's like a massive pile of grubs like pushed up against the door. So you can maybe. I'll say that you can try to fire out if you want to while you got it like peeked open a little bit, but I'll give you penalties. Like kind of try to jam your gun out the door.
Yeah, I mean they're everywhere, so he might as well try.
Yeah, sure. I'll say it's a -. Yeah, sure. I'll let you try it. Door won't be open though, but sure, I'll let you try it.
I mean, he has a D4 in shooting, so
this will go well.
Hey.
So you're trying to fire at the grub swarm, and so as you're trying to fire at the grub swarm, one of them like kind of like climbs up on the edge of your gun, on the edge of your flame cannon, and like for a moment you raise the gun up as he climbs up on your gun, and he just distracts you, and so you pull back your gun, and you hear as you fired the flame burst, but you're not sure if you even connected with anything, and then you pull back and the door slams shut. So. All right.
I was thinking. I think he dropped the flame cannon at Levi's feet, and he's using the foam cannon, by the way.
Oh, foam cannon. Oh, my bad. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you got some of the foam out there, but not enough to really make anything happen. So Aston, what do you do? You're actually out there. You're the only person outside, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Just a reminder.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I will probably put grubs outside while you're doing your thing, to kind of represent how the situation looks for you.
Sure. So first thing, he's on the comms and he's like, Arthur, do you see any weapons? He walks away as I'm talking to him. Any weapons or any pheromones or feed or anything to distract these grubs? That'd be the first thing he does.
Does he see any pheromones or feed or anything to distract the grubs? He'll probably see feed in there. Yeah. And he might see some of that stuff that they spray, like bags of that stuff that they spray on the sides of the pits that keeps them from wanting to climb out.
Yeah.
Inside.
So what my hopes would be to get him to try to get that and make some sort of a diversion. All the while, I want to be scanning this barn that he's in just to see, are there any other windows, any other way in other than this front door?
If you want to say there are some that are not covered by grubs or something, then you can spend a beanie for it. But I'm assuming they're probably like on the house. They're probably covered by grubs.
Well, I mean
Warming
the
house.
barn, not the house.
Oh, on the storage building.
Yeah, the warehouse. Sorry.
You don't tend to see windows and stuff on storage buildings like that because, I mean, that's just, I work in a lot of industrial stuff. You don't tend to see a lot of windows in those kind of buildings, really, because they're usually got like a closed ventilation system, and they tend to be made of metal, if that makes any sense.
This is
So
the
I would
drone
probably
barn?
think
It would have a hatch to release the drones, wouldn't it? Not really.
that's a great idea. They probably do have a hatch system. That's a great idea. They do have probably they probably have out the side a big opening that is closed at the moment. So, but it probably opens from the side, and it's probably on a track system for the drones to be able to whiz out.
Okay.
But it's
so
closed at
seeing
the
like
moment.
from the ship, if I could see like the hatch or something at the top.
Well, it's on the side, but it opens up like this
Okay.
for the drones to be able to whiz out.
Okay, if I could see that, then what I would the
Sure.
full sentence would be going through would be like, Arthur, do you see any weapons, any feed, any pheromones, anything that you can use to cause a distraction? Get those pheromones and dump them out the drone hatch to see if you can pull them away from the door.
You see a feed. You see feed. But you don't see anything like pheromones or anything, but you see feed.
Pass that on. There are a couple foam cannons in here and a flame carbine.
Well,
Do you want
if you
to
can figure out some way to get this drone hatch open, I can try to make my way in, but right now, the front door is not looking like a good option.
Yeah, I tried to open the front door. It did not work. I guess Levi would know whether there's a button on his little drone control to open the hatch or not.
There's a button in the room. Yes. And I'll say it's probably on the same pendulum. Sure. That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, I assume we're all on the same comm. If not, then Arthur will pass it on to Levi. Hey, is there a drone hatch opening button?
And then I don't know if I'd be able to actually hold an actual action for them
You
to
can
open
hold
that,
actions.
or
You'd essentially hold your card, and then you'd act in anytime. You'd play that card anytime. You just have to make a test if you wanted to interrupt someone else's turn, specifically interrupt someone else's turn. But yeah, you can do that.
I just wanted your blessing that me having all this dialogue didn't constitute a starting the turn.
Well, as long as so we're currently right in the middle of that turn. So, like you say, if you wanted to, no, talking is a free action. So
Okay, cool. Then
yeah,
I'm going to
so
hold my actual
you're gonna
action
hold
for
yours.
this.
Okay, so you're gonna
Yeah.
hold. We're gonna put you on hold, and so Spencer.
Yes.
So I'm assuming you're hearing all that because technically they're too far away for you to hear the conversation. Hold on, if they were just having it on communicators. But we can say that they have their communicators wired in through the landing shuttles
Mhm.
because I'm helping them. All right,
Yeah.
and I'm a good DM. And it goes through the communication of the landing shuttle to the ship. All right, and so now, actually, no, I think it's about 100 kilometers on communicators. Actually, you guys can check the equipment if you wanted to confirm
I
that.
think it's 1 mile, it said.
Really? That's it? Jeez. Wow. Okay. All right. That's assuming you're not on a local network, like a Verizon
yeah.
or something like that.
On its
But
own,
anyways,
it can
so Spencer.
tap into other channels. Yeah.
So Spencer,
Yes.
what do? You just got the power back on, but you don't have the jamming signal going.
Okay.
You haven't figured out why the power went off yet either, by the way.
Yeah.
That isn't just the GM being mean.
Yeah.
There's a reason why the power is off.
Yeah. He's not putting too much brain power in it because he's more been like listening to the radio, hearing these guys kind of having their own issues. And So I'm thinking.
Which
I'm
room
like,
are you in now? You got the ship powered back on, and are you up to the telemetry center, or are you?
Yes.
Okay, so you're
Yeah,
up to the
I'm
telemetry
wherever.
center. You see then the OS on the ship is going buck wild, telling you notifications on the ship saying security breach, heads up displays, saying essentially stuff like the vessel the Griffin is hacking attempt successful, security breach, unwanted access, that kind of stuff. And the ship actually started to speak to you. The ship actually started to speak to you and said, it started to say, we're being accessed by an outside source. They're hacking us. They're hacking us manually. And then it started to say something else, and then it goes.
No, fuck that. I go up to like our mainframe, our main computer.
Yeah.
And I try to lock it down. I use hacking and just try to lock it down.
Okay.
And system.
Counter hacking.
Counter.
Cue the early '90s like SLC punk type music. And
Yeah,
Oh, that's such a good movie.
Yeah,
God.
I put on my hacking gloves and then my
okay, nice.
Yeah.
And the shades, and you crack your knuckles.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I pull out like a 3.5-inch floppy.
This is Linux. Sure. I know this.
All right. Okay. So nice. All right.
Here we go with you want hacking roll.
Nice.
I'm assuming.
Make a hacking roll, but I will say that it would normally be a -2.
Okay.
No, it's still in a -2. So -2.
Okay.
Because the ship can't help you on hacking rolls.
Okay.
Because your hacker's good.
Yeah. Might use
and it said hacker is attacking manually, which to you means that you're getting hacked directly.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm using a Benny.
All right. In the Benny.
Okay. Using a Benny. Still in a -2. I've got to must defend this shit.
There you go. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So since you hacked it, you push back the hacker out of the ship. Okay. But since you didn't get a raise, you can't trace the signal back to where it came from.
Okay.
But you do know it came in directly. Okay. It didn't come in remotely, which could have easily been done because you were sending out signals. Now.
Okay.
But you can build basically just reset up the firewall with that check and defend the ship.
Okay. Could I make an electronics roll or a hacking roll to see if I can find out who was doing it or where it was coming from?
You can make another one, sure. Yes.
Okay.
Since we're doing a lot of combat and stuff, I'll give you time to do it. We'll do it now. All right.
Okay.
So you're not technically in combat, so we're not going to do multi-action penalties for you. So, all right. So make a hacking roll. Also add a -2.
Still at negative.
Still at 9-2 because this is a good hacker.
Okay.
I know most people would do opposed rolls, but
I'm gonna spend a Benny. I want to find out what it is.
There you go. Look at all those.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So there is
It came from behind.
That would be terrible if I just told you that. All right. There is a small drone about the size of about a foot by a foot attached to the top of your ship. And you figure this out by realizing that it is physically connected and then you pull up the camera feed to the ship.
Mm-hmm.
It is attached to the top. Are you trained in electronics?
Yes.
You have some skill in it at least? Okay.
D4.
Okay, that's enough for me to just tell you this. Okay.
Okay.
It is attached to the top of your ship. It literally tapped into your ship. Physically attached to your ship. There is a drone attached to your ship. As long as it's there, this hacker will be able to directly hack into your ship.
Oh, fuck that. Okay.
And yes, they're using this drone to remote hack into your ship.
Okay.
And the signal is coming from somewhere else. If you get a hold of the drone, you think you'll be able to ping the signal. Figure out where it's coming from.
Like physically get a hold of the drone?
Yeah, physically get a hold of the drone.
Okay. Oh, we're going outside.
It's on top of the ship.
All right. Yeah, I'm going out there.
All right.
This thing can fuck itself.
What a brave lad.
Are you relaying any of this information to the rest
and when
of
you look
us?
at the cameras, you realize
Yes.
that all the grubs are flipping out again. Everywhere. And there are drones flying around with torches and people running around with flame cannons and they're screaming everywhere and there's... Yeah.
The horror. The horror.
The horror. Yes, the horror. All right.
God damn it. Okay. Do we have any guns on board?
Not that are effective against the swarm, but
No.
there should be at least the one. Well, if Shane says it's still there, the combat rifle that the old captain had.
Yeah.
I
So
would've
If you
Shane-
didn't bring it with you, then
so-
yeah, it's still there.
Yeah, so this drone, I look at it through like the video feed. It doesn't appear to have any like weapons or anything like that on it.
No.
Okay.
It's just for this kind of thing.
Okay, so I could basically just go pick it up and rip it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Easy enough.
So we're going to take
If
our
you're
first...
relaying all this, I'd say when you get it, see if there are any identifying signals or numbers or anything on there so we can see who did this.
Okay. So I go grab the gun even though I have no ability to fire it. I just want to look cool.
Of course.
Outside.
Nothing wrong with looking cool. So,
Yeah.
all right,
yeah.
cool. All right. So we're going to take our first
Badass.
break here, actually. And then after that, Jack Breach, then the Swarms, and the Levi. So we'll go to our first break here. Thank you, everyone, for watching us. We'll be right back. So please stick around. And so we'll see y'all here in about a couple minutes, hopefully. So